Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. In today's video, it's sort of a follow-on to a video I did a couple of days ago with YST, where we actually went in and we ranked all of the previous guaranteed champions. If they were to happen again tomorrow, would we invest those shards to get those champions? So that was a really fun discussion, and it prompted me, alongside some comments actually from recently enough, to think about what guaranteed champions and what fusions, previous fusions, would we like to see come back into the game, right? We have now seen 3 guaranteed champions actually be repeated by Plarium. Which ones would we want to see again, right? We've seen Godseeker Aniri twice. We've seen Akemptum twice. We've seen White Dryad Nia twice in guaranteed. All epics. But they could bring back a guaranteed legendary. They could bring it back for a second time. What about fusions? Bit more complex here, but they could bring fusions back in some form or other, perhaps as part of a Hero's Path event, perhaps as some sort of more casual, more easily accessible mini fusion. Just something fun for an older champion to, help new players catch up. What would we like to see come back? That's what I want to talk about in today's video. I've been fairly picky here, but yeah, I wanted to pick a few examples from each. Whoa, that's too fast, too fast. A few examples from each one of champions that I would like to see come back. Think about it yourself as well. Think about it now, in fact. Make your predictions for what I'm going to go for. Again, hint here, I am going to go for older stuff, right? I'm going to pick older ones because I think they are more likely to come back. That being said, Akemptum came back just last week as a guaranteed champion. And, that one happened in January and they brought him back in July. January to July. It's not that far. So who the heck knows? Let me start with fusions first. So I've picked out 3 different fusions that I think would be pretty cool to come back. I've tried to pick a nice variety here, so let's go. The first one, he's actually right here. Hell Hades only gives him a 3 out of 5, but I actually picked Shamrock. I think most of you would not pick this one, but I think this is perfect. Number 1, he is not very cool. This is not a cool champion. This is not really a money-making champion. So this is definitely one I could see them bringing back at a pretty reasonable cost. Again, in like a Hero's Path event or some sort of mini fusion event that's very easy, very accessible. They're not selling shards for people to get Shamrock, but a little mini fusion to get him, that's easy. I could totally see that happening and being a cool event. And Shamrock is actually super underrated. 111 base speed, very nice, brilliant base stats, but he comes in with increased defense and increased speed on your whole team on a 3-turn cooldown. It can also give increased crit rate, or it can give Revive on Death continuous heal instead of the increased speed depending on your HP. He can steal buffs with his A1, and his A3 is an AoE decreased speed that decreases turn meter and can also fill ally turn meter, and 70 accuracy in all battles aura. Why do I like Shamrock? Let's see if the reviews know. Do the reviews know? Because Hydra has not been in the game very long. 4.4, he's rated too low. Hydra is actually amazing with Shamrock. It's where he really excels. He brings increased speed and AoE decreased speed as well. That is so rare and so valuable, on top of increased defense to keep you alive, on top of Revive on Death continuous heal when people drop low on health. Very good. It's also a really nice arrangement. 3-turn cooldown on increased speed, 4-turn cooldown on decreased speed. That works really well for Hydra because you should be, with good speed control that he brings you, you should be lapping those Hydra heads. You don't need decreased speed as often as you need increased speed. He has the right setup, as opposed to, let's say, Lady Kimmy, who has it the other way around, and you do miss out on a lot of increased speed with her. And the buff stealing is fantastic as well. He is top tier for Hydra, super underrated, fills in that speed slot, which is very difficult to get for a lot of people. I would love a Shamrock to come back, be easily accessible, and I think in a completely unexpected way improve a lot of people's teams. So he is my vote number 1 for a fusion that should come back. And he was one of the first. That was on the 5th of April, 2019. That was like 4 years. That's more than 4 years ago. Bring him back. Let's bring him back. I would have picked Molly, honestly, but she is in the, and so is Foley. They're both in the token trader, so I don't think they bring them back at the same time. Next one I'm going to go for is actually Torment the Cold. That was December 29th, 2019 was when they did Torment, a Christmas fusion. Again, rated a bit low. I think maybe a bit unfairly. I actually use Torment all the time, to be honest, in live arena. He's brilliant for it. Brilliant for it. Part of what makes him so good is this passive chance to freeze whenever an enemy has a buff or a turn meter filled. That's so strong, right? That is so, so strong. He also gets his revive on death. He's got AoE attacks at AoE freeze. He's got AoE block buffs and can provoke if enemies are not under freeze. Block buffs heal reduction if they are. You can strip buffs with big single target hits here. Pretty decent defensive damage dealer. Not crazy, but very solid. Torment is brilliant. He's a really useful champion for progression through Doom Tower waves, for a lot of arena. It gives you a big answer to the speed meta and stuff like that. He can bypass, because he's basically doing all AoEs and it's a double hit single target. He can really bypass a lot of ultimate Death Knight and stuff like that too. It's a great champ. He's just a brilliant champion. Not crazy OP for endgame either. I could totally see them bringing him back. He is Void Legendary, so this would probably be a bigger event, right? It would be more intensive. And that's fine because he's a Void Legendary, but I still think he would be a good one if you wanted to bring a Void back. It's been so long. I think he still is relevant, and he's still good, so I'd love to see him come back. And then I only have one more pick for fusions. One more pick. Can you guys guess what it is? There's actually a few good ones in here. I almost went for, actually, I think Kantra or Kreela could be good ones. I'm actually going to go for Skull-Lord Vargal, who only got a 3 out of 5. Again, I think that is underrating him, considering how the game has changed. But Vargal, he does a couple of things, actually 3 specific things. He does 3 specific things exceptionally well, okay? Number 1, which was always the case and is the least important, Faction Wars. He's obviously brilliant for Faction Wars. You can put him in with Skullsworn. He keeps reviving the Skullsworn unless you choose Faction Wars. That's grand. He's got massive HP. You could put him in a shield set or something. Massive shield for your Faction War runs. That's fine. Nothing too exciting, but he's just effective. Now, the other 2 places which are newer, which he's exceptional in, number 1 is Hydra, right? Strengthen for 2 turns and provoke on a target enemy on a 2-turn cooldown. This means if you do not have Strengthen elsewhere on your team, he can be a decent Mischief tank, and he can also, by himself, lock down the Head of Decay. He can be your solo provoker, and that's so valuable. He also brings AoE decrease attack, and he brings some damage. So that's cool, right? Nice stuff. And he's really easy to build as a Mischief tank, because guess what? 90 base resistance, 70 base accuracy, 107 base speed, and crazy defensive stats. This guy is the easiest champion in the world to build, to do that, because it's a very stat intensive job. He does it no problem. So he's brilliant for that. Absolute top tier. So good. And then number 3, with his passive, when attack destroys the attacker's max HP, he is one of the fastest champs for farming the Scarab King, which is just like a difficult and tedious thing to do in this game. Though people don't really farm Scarab King anymore, but he's really good for that now too. He's really good wherever destroy max HP is relevant. So I think he's a great one to bring back. He actually had, I was not playing at the time. This was from April 2020. I wasn't playing. I started around August, September 2020, I think. With Skull-Lord Vargal, okay? I believe his fusion, you had to farm up Skull Swarms, which are part of his thing. They dropped from campaign. I think you had to farm up a bunch of Skull Swarms and fuse them up into this guy. Something like that. It was a bit weird. It was a bit different. So I could totally see that coming back. It's like just this event, go farm up a bunch of Skull Swarm again. It's kind of weird, stupid, and tedious, but something like that can make it work. Maybe throw in a hero's path alongside it as well, so it's a bit more interesting than just running the campaign the whole time. I don't know. There's stuff you could do to make it interesting, and I think that could be number 1, just a fun, different sort of mini fusion. That's much more casual, fun mini side event, and yeah, also give you an actually really nice champion for the modern game. So that's what I would vote for. Now, in terms of guaranteed champions, let's jump over to those. Guaranteed champions. We did a whole video on this. You can see our rankings. Let me go through. I picked a small selection of these. Again, although I'm picking mostly older ones, they're actually all more recent than those fusions that I picked out. So first one I'm actually going to go, it's actually this guy right here, the 27th of July, 2021. Geomancer for 40 Ancient Shards. What else needs to be said? Geomancer is just so good, so helpful. Bring him back, right? This should be probably a regular guaranteed event. Let's be honest. He is so game-changing with that single target burn for 3 turns, plus this passive reflecting damage back and doing max HP damage when he does reflect stuff back. He is so potent for taking on Demon Lord Clan Boss, for taking on Iron Twins. He's basically the champion for Iron Twins and a bunch of other bosses. Amazing for Hydra, amazing for Doom Tower bosses. Bring back guaranteed Geomancer. It's been 2 years. Bring him back. It's time. Ring him in. Let's go. Geomancer back again. Let's get everyone a Geomancer. Next up is the one that was actually right after, which is Lady Kimmy back in September 2021. It was the second time they actually did a guaranteed for Ancients, the previous one being in March 2021 with Countess Lix. So probably a lot of people simply did not have enough Ancients saved up to get Lady Kimmy, or you weren't even playing back then. I think Lady Kimmy's a great champion. I especially think, one thing I'm worried about, I am worried, is with, the Stone Skin rebalance coming, where you're going to be able to get Stone Skin accessories. And as far as we know, you're going to be able to run like your Nuker in 4-piece Savage and then 4-piece Stone Skin. There's going to be Stone Skin everywhere. We want to see more bombs, right? And I think Kimmy is brilliant for enabling bombs. She can strip up buffs off each enemy with her A3 and also give you turn meter fill, increase accuracy and increase speed. So she's a brilliant champion for dealing with Stone Skin and bombs. A brilliant option to bring in. She's also nice, for Doom Tower, especially with that speed aura. She's nice for Hydra as well. She can put out AoE decrease speed, decrease accuracy, push back some turn meter. And yeah, she's just a great champion in general. Looks awesome as well. I think she'd be a big one to bring back. That would, add a lot to people's accounts and sort of help the arena meta for a lot of us be more enjoyable as well in terms of where I think it might go. We'll see. Next one, I'm going straight. It's September as well. So 1 week after the Lady Kimmy, they had guaranteed Cold Heart for 7 Void Shards. I have talked about this before. I actually think this should be probably a permanent fusion or a permanent guaranteed event, something like that. There should be a permanent way in the game, let's be real, to get Cold Heart. They did a guaranteed for her for 7 Void Shards. At the very least, bring that back. If you're not going to do it permanently, though you should, at least bring that back. But Cold Heart, she is so crucial to so much stuff in this game. Especially with hard mode dungeons now. I even use her in hard mode Spider, to be honest. But with hard mode dungeons, this champion is insane for normal dungeons. Way up to stage 20 MVP, because enemy max HP damage isn't capped. And she's still insane for Fire Knight and for Spider, even up to stage 25, even into hard mode. She's so good as a rare, and you can just get unlucky, and it's kind of miserable as a new player. You just don't get a Cold Heart. Indeed, I have 4 Cold Hearts built up. You can build multiple of this champion, so there's no harm in giving one away for a very low price. I think 7 Void Shards for a Cold Heart was a really nice deal. I think that's very reasonable. Yeah, I'd love to see this honestly come back permanently. Just give everyone a Cold Heart at this point as a starter champ. Why not? Honestly, why not? Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Help people catch up. Next, after that, I think this one would be one of my most wanted. We're going quite a bit further on here, guys. Reho Bone Spear, she would be my choice for the Void Legendary to come back. Now, this was actually fairly recent. It was in April 2022. Reho was for 90 Void Shards. I think Reho has become so powerful in the game. I really regret myself not going for her. I think if they brought her back, people go absolutely crazy for it. It's a big win for them, and that makes it a bit more likely, I think. But this move, Pressure Points, has become so strong, right? So many debuffs on a single target with not Iron Twins. She's good for Iron Twins as well, actually. Good for Iron Twins Fortress. She's actually amazing for Sand Devil. Amazing. She's insane for the Phantom Shogun's Grove as well. All of these single target bosses just having almost every debuff in the game, it feels like, on a 3-turn cooldown for that single target is so good against any single target boss. Reho becomes an MVP on top of bringing a massive heal and block debuffs and cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown. This champion is insane. She also looks freaking awesome. So yeah, I would love to see guaranteed Reho come back. She might be so good now that they wouldn't, but damn, that was a really good one. And then I got to throw in finally a choice for the sacred guaranteed. I'll put one in that they could bring back. I've done a rare to bring back, epic from Ancients. I guess we didn't do an epic from Voids, but that's fine. I'm going to go with the sacreds. For my sacred choice, it has to be Nekmothar. That was in July 2022. That was 1 year ago to this day. Nekmothar. Such an insanely good champion for Hydra. He is absolutely insane. It was 15 sacreds at the time. I definitely think this is a champion you could totally bring back for guaranteed, and people go nuts for it, especially with Hydra Clash coming. But increased speed with turn meter fill, AoE decrease speed and leech, AoE decrease attack, speed aura, turn meter boost from his passive. This champion has it all. He's got the perfect kit for Hydra, brings all your speed control needs, as well as decrease attack and leech to keep you alive as well. He's so good. He is so good. He's the best speed control champion for Hydra, bar none. He's nuts. So yeah, I would love to see this guy come back as a guaranteed. It might just be too strong. He might be just too strong, but I know I want him to come back so everyone could have a chance to get him. I could see them being more. I could see them being like, yes, let's do our evil inflation. Mwahaha, let's bring him back for 20 sacreds or something like that. That's probably what they would do. But honestly, just to give people a chance for Necmo, maybe that's okay. I don't know. But hey, look, it is what it is. If they were to bring back any champion from Sacreds that they did guaranteed on, Necmothar would have to be my #1 pick. I think anyone that doesn't have him probably really, really wants him. So there you go. Those are the champions. Boom. This is my list. These are the 3 fusions I think that would be great to see come back in some sort of much more accessible mini bonus event form. And these are guaranteed that I would love to see come back as well. Let me know what you think. Go away with your vengeance coins. Honest to God. Let me know what you think. I'm currently away on holiday. That's why I'm recording this. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm recording this in advance. I'm going away on just a mini weekend break, taking the dog away. She's sick, so taking her away to enjoy a little holiday. These would be the champs I'd love to see come back. Let me know. Did my picks match any of yours? Did I surprise you? I suspect I did surprise people, probably with the fusions. Maybe not so much with the guaranteed, but I think with the fusions, I definitely surprised people. We'll see. Hope you enjoyed the video anyway, and I will see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.